Get ready to ramble.
Good evening, friends, and welcome to Ramblings of a Middle-Aged Card Collector, where we explore stories, journeys, and the creative paths in the hobby we love. Tonight, on episode 24, Ink, Hustle, and the Hobby, Tim Collins' Sketch Card Journey. We will be talking about Tim's origins in art. He's an up-and-coming artist, sketch card artist. We're sitting down tonight. We're going to be talking about his style, what brought him into sketches. He was a collector, so we're going to touch on that as well. He's still a collector. So everyone, please welcome my friend and guest, Tim.
I appreciate that, Matt. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be episode 24. I'm feeling the Kobe vibes.
Oh, okay.
That Mamba mentality in the air tonight. So I appreciate you having me for sure.
Absolutely. It's a lot of fun. If you guys didn't catch it, Tim was one of the first artists on the premiere of Sketch Live, and he did some nasty, amazing, incredible pieces. I actually got one that came in the mail. It was the piece that Tim did for me, so I wanted to show this off today. I'll make myself big real quick.
Stop pulling.
So this is what Tim did.
There we go.
Get that. Might be trying to catch the back, but oh, there it is.
Got it.
Yeah, Dirty Harry Joker, bro. That's so good, man. Such great work.
Appreciate that, man. And I'm glad you're happy with it. You know, that was a fun one, and I'm glad that I could make that connection for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I told Tim before we started the live, my stepfather was real big into Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood movies. So when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's dope."
Ash, what's up?
Yeah. I remember watching all the Clint Eastwood movies with my pop, man.
Yeah, it's iconic, man.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll jump right into this, brother. How did you art first show up in your life?
I've been doing art, I want to say, since I was a kid. My older brother and I, we got into a lot of trouble when we were younger, and so whenever we were like on punishment, my parents would take our games and pretty much everything, with the exception of the milk crate of comics we had in our closet, and we had our composition notebooks and we had pencils. And so my older brother and I, we did a lot of drawing because we got into a lot of trouble when we were kids. So
absolutely, didn't we all?
Yeah.
We grew up in that good era where we could get in trouble outside.
Yeah.
Now we got to tell kids to go outside.
Yeah, you got to force them outside, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you couldn't catch me inside.
Me neither, dude.
So were you always drawing characters, or did that come later?
No, I want to say I always started with superheroes when I was a kid. I took a couple of different art courses throughout just my education, high school, college, and so that's where I got into a little bit of still life, live figure drawing, things like that. I was able to get exposed to. Plus, Matt, we live in the city that has everything. New York is pretty accessible, and whatever you're looking for, you can find it. And so the art scene, at least when I was graduating high school into college, was just crazy. A lot of street art was really big back then. I was heavily influenced by an artist by the name of James Sheen,
Okay.
Who's an Asian artist that I loved his work. And I was really taken by that. But yeah, I've had so many different influences, but the genesis of everything always started with comics for me personally. So
awesome. That's a great start.
Yeah.
Do you remember a moment where it started to feel serious for you and not just something you enjoyed?
I want to say serious in terms of like, oh, I can do this professionally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe like 3 years ago, when the when I started doing the sketch card stuff. And really, even the way that happened was really happenstance. I did want a career in art at one point. I did get my bachelor's in graphic design, so
Okay.
I did like storyboarding, a ton of different design courses, illustration courses, and so I had it in my head that I was gonna be some type of designer or artist, and I ended up falling into advertising, but more on the technical side of things.
Hmm.
And that's where my career has been. And it wasn't until a couple years ago that I actually picked back up my, my pencils and started drawing again. So
Nice. And were you like always a card collector, or did that come later on?
So I don't know if you remember Pathmark back in the day, which was a supermarket chain. My brother and I, we would scour the couches at home, the car. My dad used to pay us to, he would give us like an allowance if we would pick up our younger siblings, and we would spend our allowance at Pathmark when we would go do grocery shopping. And that's kind of like the love for like card collecting really came from. And I don't know, we used to buy like 92 masterpieces. They had it in there, 93 Fleer Spider-Man, wrestling cards. This is back in like the Attitude Era. So anything that Pathmark had in the machine that was of interest, we would buy. Marvel cards is definitely the beginning, and my older brother still has our childhood cards with
Nice.
him. And then that graduated into Pokemon. Pokemon was huge. I was in the right age range for that. And so when that blew up, we were heavy into Pokemon. I don't know if you remember back in the day, and there was a lot of newsstands in New York. And so, people who are familiar with comics, when they talk about newsstand copies, newsstands were like these little kiosks in the middle of the street that used to just sell magazines and comic books. And the barcodes were different for the newsstands, because if you didn't sell it, I think you could rip the front page off and return it back to your distributor, and you'll get like money back or like some type of partial refund. And so we used to go to newsstands all the time and buy cards. There was one not too far from my grandfather's house that we would walk to all the time, and in Brooklyn. So yeah.
That's fun. And I love the little history there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Newsstand comics. Yeah. I miss newsstands. Now you see them every once in a while, but they're like so modernized. They're like more of like a kiosk, not like a newsstand,
Yeah, man. You used to walk in, they have the spinner racks. You know where the comic book section was. The section that you're not supposed to go to. A little bit of everything for everyone, I guess.
Cigarette or a cigar. What are you doing? It was definitely a character situation back then, at least when I was a kid. Everyone was like, man, you belong in a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah, exactly.
So when did you first discover sketch cards?
Sketch cards. If I could remember correctly, the first sketch card I ever pulled, ironically, was an Ash Professor X from 2020 Masterpieces.
Oh, wow.
And I think that was his first set or one of his first sets. But that was the first time I ever knew that there were like original sketch cards in pack inserted sketch cards. Was it Masterpieces? And yeah, I did. I took it and I sold it, and I made quite a bit of money off of it. So thanks a lot, Ash. I got the value of my box back. Yeah, you can, and I see he's in the chat. You can actually look up the card that I pulled. I think I posted it on MCCW. Once I discovered that Facebook group, I used to post a bunch of stuff there. But that was the first time that I realized that there were pack inserted sketches. And back then, Masterpieces, you were guaranteed a sketch per box. And so I opened quite a bit of 2020 Masterpieces, and that was kind of my first exposure to sketch cards, I guess. Truly.
Nice. I mean, that's an awesome first pull.
Yeah, it was awesome. I wish I would have kept it in hindsight.
Yeah.
But you know, you go after things. The hobby has to fund itself, and people loved his stuff out the gate. So
Yeah, that's beginner's luck right there. I mean,
yeah, for
yeah, I
sure.
mean, when I first noticed sketch cards, it was like, what? Like, so with you having your background in art and everything, when you saw sketch cards, like, what was your thought like going in? Like, oh, maybe I could do something like this, or
Absolutely no. My thought was the opposite. I especially someone like Ash who puts a lot of time and attention into detail, and I was really amazed about how much detail he was able to fit in such a small canvas. And truth be told, I hated painting. I was a pencil guy in school. I The closest I got to like coloring and stuff was like Copic markers and like digital color, like digital
Mhm.
Photoshop and Manga Studios, stuff like people who remember Manga Studios from back in the day. Um, but yeah, I hated traditional painting, and I was so blown away by like some of these artists that were able to put so much detail in a painting on a card. Kind of blew my mind. So um, that was really my first thought. I didn't think I could do it. I never think I could just do anything by just looking at something. I guess my perspective is always to appreciate, what's in hand and kind of live in that moment.
So what got you into the mindset and starting the process into creating sketch cards?
Man, it's that is a heavy question for me personally because at the time that I picked up sketch cards, uh, I was going through some stuff. My family and I were going through some stuff personally. Um, Someone close to me was really sick and was going through it, and it was just affecting me, man. I was just in my head all the time, and it was at the time I was throwing myself at work, and I noticed, and my wife noticed as well. And this is during the pandemic. My wife noticed that I was I'm a pretty easygoing guy, but my tolerance was like really thin during this time because of just everything that was kind of compounding on top of
Mhm.
each other.
Yeah.
And she, my wife was kind of like, you need some type of outlet. You just can't. And obviously during the pandemic, it was hard, right? Like there wasn't a space to like really step outside and be outside and things like that. So for her, she was just stressing for me to pick art back up, in some type of way, shape, or form. And I had started to get close with a couple of guys in the community and the space, and even they were like, "Hey, man, you should just pick up sketch cards, right? Like you should start like see what you can do with that." And I remember one of the first times during the pandemic, I was able to leave my house and go to there's a store called Plick in the city, and I just picked up. They had these little trading cards, and so I picked them up, and you know, I was so entrenched in cards at the time during the pandemic with EPAC and all this stuff.
Oh,
I was like, yeah, I'll try sketch cards and see where that takes me, and that's really how it began for me. It was just looking for an outlet to kind of take my mind off of stuff.
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a tough time for a lot of us,
Yeah.
it was tough. We all had to find some kind of outlet to focus on, or at least try to distract us from everything that was going on and all the BS and all that. It was a lot of drama. It was a lot of everything. So I can only imagine what something like compacting on top of that with illness is just it's tough. But
Mhm.
I mean, through that, you definitely found your light through that darkness. Because I mean, you're doing
100%.
amazing work right now. Your pieces are only getting better, and I,
Appreciate that, man.
I can't wait to see what you do next, bro. Because like I said, when I saw everything you were doing during Sketch Live, the pieces that you've been putting out with Upper Deck and with the DC run, and I hope to see more. I hope to see you with other companies. I hope to see you break out, bro. Because
Yeah.
You deserve it. You're doing great work. You're
Yeah,
putting
man.
in the work.
Yeah, I think the mentality. I can't help but have a collector's mentality when I'm producing cards, and so I know there are people that collect character collecting is big. People love obscure characters, and I say that while I see all the pieces behind you.
Yeah.
Um, but as a collector, I often combat with like, should I? There are characters, obscure characters I like, and I would love to do a sketch card, but at the same time, try to get back that same value, right? And again, I go back to that 2020 masterpiece experience where, like, the cards aren't cheap anymore, and so you do your best to try to give back, understanding that, like, especially the way sets are configured now, the sketch slot is such a big slot, and so you want to give back some type of value, especially for what people are spending, their hard-earned money on. So it gets tough sometimes. I would love to do more obscure characters, and I guess that's what APs are for, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, thank goodness with Upperdeck, you're getting APs, right? So
yeah, sure. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, make some extra money, and then you get to branch off and do what obscure character you want to do.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ash said, your wife is very wise, Tim, for
I
doing.
appreciate that. Yeah, she's my better half for sure.
They usually are, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, that's awesome, man. I like I said before, when you showed me the picture of the Joker, I was like, holy cow, what a great concept, like that you just threw out there and put together, and it came out great. And I know this isn't like a Upper Deck or anything, so it's also that there's a gun on it. So it's
yeah.
like,
I mean, that's the key with like doing any type of PCS or personal sketch cards is that you
yeah,
have more liberties than you would if you're working for these companies, and so I like to try to take advantage of that.
yeah. And I mean, to hear an artist say that they're like you're coming from a collector standpoint, that's what you're saying from your
Yeah,
mindset is but to hear an artist say that they're actually putting thought into what cards they're making because they want that to retain value, or and you're thinking about the way the breakdown is for the market of like what's going on right now, that's commendable. That's awesome. So and I can tell you guys right now, I believe Cosper mentioned it before, Bill, for your Comic Art Live sketches you did, this came professionally shipped. I
yeah,
mean, this thing could have got thrown down 5 flights of stairs, and it would have came safe and sound to me. So I greatly appreciate that. That's something that's obviously being seen across the community, that you are putting work into, making sure the cards are top notch and getting there safely. So kudos.
yeah. I appreciate that, man. It's the collector in me,
Yeah, right.
It's what it comes down to.
I have gotten a personal sketch card before in an envelope with no
Yeah,
art,
yeah.
and I'm like,
I've
whoa.
got my fair share of just half cut envelopes taped together, and
Yeah,
it's not a good feeling, especially when you spend a lot of money.
yeah, for sure. Exactly. Yeah, Ash said he's blown away with that concept. Yeah, you did great, dude.
Appreciate
That
it,
was
man.
fun. And I never even seen that or thought of that. I was like, oh yeah, it's the Joker's Dirty Harry. That's dope, bro.
Thanks, man.
So this is probably layered or whatnot, but how would you describe your style to someone new to sketch cards?
The only word I can think of is evolving.
Okay.
I'm still a student, and I approach everything that way. My career, just being involved in ad tech, and the landscape constantly changing. You have to have a student's mentality. You have to be open, and so I'm always looking at what other artists are doing. A lot of my follows are different, artists that have inspired me at one point or another, and so I'm always looking at what sketch card artists are cooking up. Guys like Dre, guys like Ash, Freddie, and Liddy Lee is another one. They all have their own distinct styles. For me, I don't think I found my style, and I don't think I ever will because of because of just being a student to it and trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work.
Hmm.
Always wanting to try new things. I'm always looking to see what else I can incorporate, you know, um, into like my arsenal of tools and stuff like that. And so um, I would just say evolving is always evolving, changing, and I'm sure what it is today won't necessarily be what it is, a year or two from now.
And that's totally understandable. Keep
Yeah.
it ever changing, find your niche, find exactly what works for you. And that's a great point because the Psylocke you did, like there was like a Psylocke you did for Raj, you did this Joker, then you did a Wolverine, and you can see like how wide of a spectrum you were ranging from between those three different concepts, characters, designs, and you nailed every single one you were doing. So keep up, that great work. Keep pulling from whatever you're pulling from because every card you did, whether it was, all different styles, I was like, wow, this is great. And then, the stuff that I've seen pulled so far from your DC Batman Metal, that style as well. And those are painted, right?
Those are completely painted. I use mainly gouache. I use gouache and watercolor pencils for the most part, but it was really almost exclusively paint. No spray paint, which I used a lot of spray paint on my first set, but the space I was in at that time, I became dependent a little bit too much on the airbrushing, and
Okay.
so I handicapped myself. Like I try to take that away and really focus on like just fundamentals. Yeah.
Nice. Like what kind of tools are you using right now?
Right now, I use a little bit of everything. I use a little bit of acrylic, a little bit of gouache still. I think gouache is like my main thing that I go to. Watercolor pencils, markers, inks. I've been doing a lot of like Copic markers. So like a lot of the stuff that I did for the commissions for the Sketch Live, and even for because I was a part of the Comic Art Live, the
Mhm.
event for um,
Yeah, the mystery sketches.
mystery sketches. And
Yeah.
so for that one, I went back kind of to my roots of Copic markers, and using that grayscale and then putting like a splash of color into it. And so I've been doing a little bit of that. I've been messing with Copics and watercolors and using, instead of using different paints as a base, I started using Copic markers as my base for like the tones and then painting over that and see what comes out of that. I am using the airbrush again, but really for highlights. I really don't want to get into a space where I'm dependent on it again, because it is frustrating, and you start to lose a lot of that detail that you work on. So, um, you know, finding that balance and stuff. So there's a lot of different tools. I'm surrounded by art supplies right now. So yeah.
That's awesome. Um, so do you approach like a commission different than like a sketch card that you're going to be putting submitting, or you're going both like facing them both the same?
Um, with the commissions, the customer service is just different. And so I'm gonna do a round of like prelim sketches for anything that's like more expensive.
Hmm.
Or fully painted. I'll do some thumbnails. For instance, I did an AP for Nathan, who's a good friend of mine, and just one of my biggest supporters since day one. I did a Stephanie Brown spoiler AP on a Batman Metal stock for him.
Nice.
And that one, I went through a round of just different sketches, preliminary, even like some color theory stuff that I did to get the color palette right, and at a place that he would enjoy. And so I shared a lot of different. I think I did like 10 different sketches for the one sketch card, and like maybe 7 different painted versions of it. Just quick rough draft paintings for color theory. So
Okay.
definitely take more time with those. With the upper deck stuff in particular, there's a clock running.
Yeah.
from the moment you get those cards. So what I like to do is I like to kind of pre-plan. If I know I'm going to be on a set, I'm already working towards a character checklist and trying to figure out some things that are conceptually cool that you can't really put words or text on the cards. So I like to do these kind of subsets within the sketch cards I produce for Upperdeck. And then when you see them, you'll know what I'm referring to. But there are cards that definitely go with one another. So I may do like 30 cards, and like 5 of them are like meant to be kind of like a lineup or something like that. So.
Oh, I love that. I love when artists do that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a fun chase, especially if it's an artist you're a huge fan of, it's a little
I have a set
Easter egg.
coming out. I have a set coming out where I did a run of characters. It's DC cards. It's like Justice League, and they all match. And so that is going to be cool, I think, for someone to kind of chase those down. So
nice. When you mean match, like a puzzle, or like they're just matching?
No, they're like
they go together.
So this is where I learned the hard way, because they all had this gold Justice League logo on them.
Okay.
And Upperdeck made me remove it. So I was like, oh damn it, that was gonna tie all the cards together, but they all have the same background.
Okay.
And they're all showcasing their powers in some type of way. So they still match even without the logo.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to seeing that, man.
Yeah, man.
That's so cool. Now, just curious, just because maybe like, how does a sketch get decided on if it's going to be an EPAC achievement? Do they let you know about that ahead of time, or? Like,
yeah, in my experience, that's something that's negotiated within the contract, and so I'll get an offer letter, and it'll have that kind of detailed out. So they'll let me know, how many pack inserted cards I'll do, and if there's any EPAC achievements attached to the set, they'll be listed pretty detailed. How many they expect for like a four card panel, a 3 card panel, 2 panel, 6 panel. So I did do a set with EPAC achievements that I'm pretty proud of, and I can't wait for people to see them. And hopefully, again, I can't help but think like a collector. I'm trying to I know what it is to chase things on EPAC and how much time, energy, and money it takes to get to those achievements. So I really did put my best foot forward to try to give just something creative and something that people would be happy with from a collecting standpoint. So
that's really cool. That's really cool. I love that, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what I know they got the Superman coming out, they got Justice League coming out, so those are 2 DC Upperdeck sets that'll be fun to look at. I did see that like sneak picture of Doom they Upperdeck shared. I don't know anything about that, but I was like, how are they doing that if we don't have the license anymore?
I think it's their like TCG that they do for
that makes sense. What, Legends or Legendary?
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, like, I was reading the comments, there was like there was a edition that was supposed to come out late last year that got pushed, so I guess it's gonna come out this year. But I like the move by Upperdeck to kind of just throw that tease out there and get people going crazy.
It was a fun tease. Doom's just creeping on you. I was like, what is that?
Yeah. Sure.
Like, Upperdeck. I thought they shared something at first. And I was like, okay. Yeah. But of course, it's going to be the trading card game. So you are a sketch collector yourself, brother, right?
Yes, I love. And you know what? I wasn't a sketch card collector initially, and really it's because the cards I like were very expensive. And so over time I began my own kind of sketch card collecting journey. There's a mix of like character collecting and just collecting a piece from my favorite creator. Yeah, I mean, and you've seen the collection.
I was just gonna say, dude. I was just gonna say, We had the pleasure of hanging out at New York Comic Con, and I got to see that binder, and I was just like, I was blown away. I mean, you when somebody shows you or presents you their binder, and they're all excited about it and everything, they're like, "Oh, take a look at this." You don't know what you're going to see when you open it or you turn the
Yeah.
pages. Like, are you going to see a piece of work, like a masterpiece? Are you going to see like an actual art? Or are you going to see a sketch done by a famous artist? Every page I flipped through, I was like blown away by the names of the artists and what they and the accumulation of. I was like, oh my god, this is like if I were to think of like the artists at New York Comic Con, like top notch artists, and it was like you hit so many of like those, but for sketch cards instead of like a comic sketch or whatever. I
Yeah.
was like, you put me on a whole nother like. I didn't even know I could do this at New York Comic Con, and I've been going here for 11 years. Like, what? Like, so
It's
now it's
I
this
gotta
whole
give
new world.
credit. I gotta give credit to a friend of mine. His name is James Jeslavs on IG, and it was his idea. He did black and white Doctor Doom sketches, and he would get them graded by PSA. And if you go to his IG page, you're gonna see some of the greatest artists of the last 15 years, and he has a piece by all of them,
Oh,
black
wow.
and white Doctor Doom, and fortunate to have met, to have linked up with him on IG and have real conversations with him. And yeah, I can't take credit for the idea, but I enjoy doing. I mean, dude, we were running around Artist Alley like with chickens with our head chopped off. Like
Yeah, like little
it's my
kids, like,
favorite thing to do. It's affordable for the most part, right? Let me not say that it's completely affordable, but for the most part, it's affordable. The artists are willing to do it, particularly at a cheaper rate. And then, we live in New York, bro. Like, there's not a lot of space. I used to have I mean, short boxes of comics in the closet, and since my wife and I had our kid, we need that space back. And so,
yeah,
collecting sketch cards are a lot easier than collecting, comic book commissions and bigger pieces and stuff. So,
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
it's kind of just that's the wave that I'm on right now. I'm sure, when the time comes, I'll move all over to maybe some larger commissions at some point. But I'm really enjoying just the experience that I'm having with collecting these sketch cards.
The chat is asking, who do you PC, Tim?
I'm a big Batman fan since I was a kid. Excited. There you go. Excited when Upperdeck got the license to have some card consistency with the license. And so I'm excited, man. I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited for DC Masterpieces. I think that's the big one that everybody's kind of waiting on and hoping to see. So I PC Batman, and I also PC Thanos, which I've taken a step back from because Thanos has gotten very expensive,
Mm,
and there are a lot of collectors with a lot more money than I have. And so, when I first started collecting Thanos, I want to say it was like pre-Infinity War, pre-Endgame, so he wasn't as prominent of a character,
yeah,
and people weren't checking for him like they do now. He really was. He wasn't A tier, to be honest. Like, he just wasn't. He was more of a B tier character, and so when he got popular, prices started skyrocketing, and there's only so much money you can spend on cards, and so I did take a step back. But I had a lot of, or I have a lot of good friends in the hobby that were able to help me curate a pretty cool Thanos collection too, that I'm happy with.
yeah. That's awesome. It's tough PC in two characters, man.
It is. I almost exclusively just PC Batman. I'll collect some Catwoman and Poison Ivy stuff, but I'm almost exclusively Batman at this point. I'm happy with where the Thanos collection, where I ended off at.
Mm.
And who knows, I might move away from it altogether, um, in the future at some point. But I'm real happy with how that collection, came about and what it means to me. So
That's beautiful, man. Because I'm in the same boat with my Rocket Raccoon stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to let go of it because I actually met a lot of people and built like relations and stuff through some of those cards, and that's kind of like started my journey on Man Thing and PC, like getting commissions and sketches and curating my collection was. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to sell this yet. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of like holding on to it. So I'm like, I don't know, but I'm kind of there too. I'm like, maybe one day I'll step away from it, but I'm very happy where it's at, and definitely happy where it got me with Man Thing, because I wouldn't have learned what I learned from the Rocket Raccoon collection without it. So
likewise, that's the same thing. A lot of learnings with the Thanos collecting, So
yeah. And then, I noticed the same thing, Guardians of the Galaxy blew Rocket up, and it was like, when I first started, it was somewhat a little affordable, and then it was like, no, now he's super famous. And I was like, this sketch shouldn't be this much money. I was like,
100%. I trust me, I feel the same way, and went through the same thing with my character. So, which I really didn't learn much, because I went right into Batman once Upperdeck got the DC license, which is the character, I guess you could argue. But it's about doing things strategically and kind of waiting out your opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, you got to play the game right.
Yeah, exactly.
What have been some of the hardest like challenges breaking into the hobby?
I want to say early on, if I could be, just honest about my experience, there was a lot of I don't want to use the word gatekeeping, because I don't think that's fair. Because I think most hobbies have that, and it's I think it's fair to, rag on Marvel card collecting, and because of gatekeeping, because it's everywhere. Like I came from comics, and I was buying and selling comics for a long time. That's kind of how I started on Instagram. So I don't want to kind of rag on that, but what I will say though is, the biggest challenge is people, particularly in Marvel cards, tend to play things close to the chest in terms of what they collect, what they're going after, what they have, knowledge, right? They kind of hold tight. And it wasn't until I started meeting people and just really having conversations and creating relationships is when I started figuring out certain cards exist. Certain people collect certain things but are very hush-hush about it. And really, in the early days, no one talked to anybody, or at least I wasn't in any circles that were talking about some of the more rarer things that were available. I definitely got swept up in the hey, buy my base card, or buy my numbered out of 1,300 or something like that, and thinking that there was some type of value there. One thing that I learned in comics was that it's okay to collect things that you like. It's okay to invest in things that have value. I think a happy medium is finding a middle ground for both, especially if you're going to be spending your money. You want to be wise about that. And so I was not wise in the beginning collecting Thanos. I did spend a lot of money on cards that were considered junk cards, and people would just set prices, and there wasn't a lot of comp data on eBay and things like that. And so really you paid whatever the person who had the card set the price at, right? There was some negotiating, but for the most part, a lot of the bigger cards that I had acquired early on was I just had to pay the price that the collector wanted, unfortunately. And so I spent a ton of money trying to curate this collection. And really the first thing I tried to curate was 2018 Marvel Masterpieces out of 10 autos.
Ooh.
And that got me down a pretty big financial hole.
I'm sure.
Just back collecting, right? Because it had came out prior to my involvement in the hobby. And so that really took a toll financially on me, and so you have to kind of rejigger your strategy, and you figure things out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You had to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's it could be definitely I've seen some where, you do see some information's just kind of kept at the cuff. It's not shared. And you're like, oh, that would have been cool to know. But, you know, I've always had to touch the oven to know it was hot myself. So, I mean, that's kind of where I come from. So, yeah, I walked the same journey as you, bro. I spent
Yeah.
money on cards that are cardboard, right? They're just shiny cardboard. That's all it is. It's got a number
Listen,
somewhere on it.
even the low number stuff, that's all it is shiny cardboard. But like my boy Doom and I like to say, we like shiny things. So
Yeah.
that's what it is. And you know what? I do want to just make it clear, like there was no level of expectation for anyone to like help me or anything like that.
Yeah.
We're all adults. We're all working adults. These are just things that you have to figure out, and there's nothing wrong with going through the journey. And it was just part of mine. So
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think it's part of everyone's basically. I
yeah,
mean, we're all kind of, a lot of us knew about Marvel cards when we were younger, and then either we stepped away or matured in some shape, way, or form, or life happened, and now we're older, and you see a common denominator is COVID. We all had this gap where we're kind of bored, and there were a few people out there who were like, no, these things still, and they were creating content, and that's what pulled me back into it, and
yep.
so yeah, I mean, I kind of was just watching videos, and that's how I was learning, and I didn't really have anyone local to where I was to like it was back when we were kids. Like you sat at a table, like, oh, look at my binder. Oh, I need that card. I got 2 of this one. I'll give you that. And it's like,
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, this is worth money, and then you get swept up into it, and you're like, you think you're on this, I don't know, investment journey or something like that, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh no, these ain't worth crap, or maybe they were something yesterday, but not today, or so it's definitely gambling when you think about it. So that's what made me move to more original sketch card art or original art, to where I was like, no, I can curate this by talking to an artist and giving them the money that they actually deserve. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm doing it, and that's why I haven't bought a single, sketch recently out of official sketch, just because I'm like, I don't think the prices are correct right now, and maybe that'll come down and maybe it won't. But for the price I can get one of those official sketch cards, I can commission 2 pieces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, buy 5 slots on a certain show. You know what I mean? Like there's options that, are out there now to where it's like, I don't need that. And I mean, it's great to see them. I mean, I like to follow artists on, they post all of the cards they're doing in an upcoming set. Yo, look at those cards. And then you could be like, I'm going to commission this artist, and then reach out to them. Because you don't know. I mean, I don't want any kind of like exact numbers, but from what I was understanding is you're not really getting a commission AP price for the sketch cards you're handing into Upperdeck or Tops. You're getting a specific set rate price, and it's not what it should be if you were to then say, hey, Matt, you want a commission, or hey, Tim, I want a commission, and you have a set price. So to me, I always think it's good to support your local artists, support artists you like, by not just hunting a sketch card on eBay and spending $500-$600 on it. I mean, to me, that's great. I mean, it's helping the artist. Now they maybe know where their level are at or what their cards are selling for, and that could help them set their commission prices. But that $600 could have just went to the artist, straight up.
100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, because I've seen it both ways when I've talked to artists or I follow them on their socials, and you see the comments they say, and it's like, yeah, I would feel that way too. Like, damn, I don't, let's be generous. Let's say it's $100 that you're getting from Upperdeck or Tops, and then you see something sell for $1,000, and I'm just making both numbers up. And how is that really going to make you feel? Or do you know you're going to get a commission for $1,000, or where are you? Are you somewhere in between? So I like to just say, hey, Tim, I really love your work that I've been seeing in these sets. You know, do you want to do a sketch card for me? Or another thing I look at lately is how detailed someone could put the work into, like we were saying, that 2.5 by 3.5 piece of canvas.
Yeah.
Well, if it's that crazy, what can you do on a 5 by 7?
Yeah.
Let's zoom this up a little bit. Let's make it bigger. What can you do? Let's push the limits. So, I mean, I'm going to be getting a commission from Tim. No joke about it. I want to see a Man Thing by him. So we're going to be working that out.
For sure.
We each got some. I got to give you the blank for that thing for New York Comic Con. The Fleer Ultra Midnight Suns blank I got to give you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope that works out. I hope everything goes good. I would love to see a Man Thing by that artist. So that'll be a great reveal. I'm looking forward to that. Just got to keep me in the loop. Let me know what I need to do and when to do it. But I'll get you that blank over so you have it.
Yeah, we'll talk right after the show.
Yes. Because I've been thinking about it. I'm like, oh, I'm getting excited about that.
Yeah.
So what's something like collectors or new collectors or returning collectors probably don't realize about sketch cards that you could, from your personal opinion?
That's a good question. I would say, just to help promote the artist, I would say there's a lot of artists that this is their job. I'm fortunate enough to have a day job versus a lot of the artists, especially the artists overseas, that this is their main source of income. I think it's important to keep that in mind. And when you see art, sketch card art that really, speak to you, or something that you really, really are drawn to, like you said, try to support that artist. I don't think people realize how much people rely on, selling APs and selling commissions for specific artists that are creating sketch cards right now. And so that's not an invitation for artists to not be respectful of the collector, because I have seen instances where people might pay for an AP from an artist, and you pay up front, and then you're waiting a year, 2 years sometimes. Which, again, like, life happens to everyone. Just me personally, I don't that again, I'm in a different position because I do have a day job, but I don't collect money until the card is ready, and I'm going to ship it out, because I'm not a holding company. I'm not going to hold your money hostage until I'm able to get to a card.
Gaining interest on it.
Yeah. So, but I know that there are some other people, some other artists that handle it differently, and for good reason. It's, they need the money to pay their bills and stuff. And so I would say, if you can support artists, do support them, but also make sure you do your background checks, make sure you're in the Facebook groups, make sure you understand their current situation, because that wait time could become super cumbersome.
Yeah. Always have a clear line of communication. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't ask for an update every single day, but just don't be afraid to ask. I've been working with an artist right now, and he's been very clear, like, hey, I got this deadline right now, and it's an artist that I've been waiting to get a sketch from, and I'm very happy I'm getting a sketch card from him. So I'm like, dude, I ain't rushing you at all.
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel rushed on this piece. I'm just excited you're actually working on this for me. Yeah. So if you need to put this down because you need to hit 5-6 sketch cards or however many for this set, and then you're going to get back to it, I'm totally fine. And throughout this process, he sent me updates like, hey, I had an extra 2 hours today. I did the line works on this, and he'll send me a picture. I'm just like, oh man, when this is done, this is going to be sick. Some people, though, are like, why can't he just finish it? Why can't, or she just finish it? Why can't they just focus on, put this time aside? You have no idea what's going on. I mean, that's just with every single person you ever meet. You really don't know what's going on behind at their life, at home or at work or whatever, anything, something that just happened to them 20 minutes ago. So especially with some of these artists, you don't know the situation. I've worked with a few artists, and because I've got a lot of commissions, sometimes health issues are happen, family bad things happen. I mean, life happens. Things, Forrest Gump, it happens. So
yeah. I mean, there's a flip side to it too, and I think again, the collector in me it's coming out like, yeah, I represent both sides now, but it's also, because I've had experiences where I've commissioned sketch cards in the past, and you start getting, you'll get 20 different excuses, and you're looking at it, and it's been a year and a half, and then you're following this artist on Instagram, and they're on the beach. You know what I mean? So like, I know the flip side to it, so that's why I said, please be careful. Like, a lot of artists have reputations, whether they be good, bad, or indifferent. Just make sure that you're researching it, and sometimes the juice isn't worth the squeeze, right? And sometimes you just because a bad experience can lead you to not like something.
yes.
And I'll give you an example. I pursued a card for a very long time, and the purchase process was so bad that even once I got it, I had such a bad taste in my mouth with the card that I moved it immediately, because it was a reminder of the bad experience. And so, just keep that in mind, right? It works both ways, and it's important for both parties to be respectful of one another.
Yeah. And I mean, the community's great.
Yeah.
Ask around.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Facebook groups specifically for this. I mean, there's Discord channels. There's
Yep.
a lot of places where you could just be like, and it doesn't need to be a thread. It doesn't need to be a post. Just message somebody. Be like, hey,
Yeah.
do you know that such and such artist? Have you had an experience with them? I will tell you straight up. I won't cherrycoat anything. I'll let you know, hey, I don't know. This is what happened with this. Communication wasn't that great. I tried.
Buyer beware, right?
Yeah, buyer beware. I mean, and I can name two off the top of my head to where I'm like, I don't know if I'll
Never
get
again.
another one. Yeah.
I feel you.
And man, that to hear you say that though, that sucks. It really does, because I can relate to have something to where it's such a terrible experience, to where no matter how good it is, every time you look at it, you're like, fuck that guy. You know what I
mean? Dude, but it happens. It really does, and it's part of the journey.
Made part of my chin go white. Like throughout all the stress. There could be, it can be, like you said, it's there's two sides to a coin, and sometimes it's a great experience, and sometimes it's rough. And there are some stories I've heard that people share in these groups, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna stay away from that artist, so ahead of time. You know what I mean? And that's that sharing of information. You know what I mean?
And that's really where these groups shine, right? Is that it's when they're able to let you know what's currently happening with certain people. That way you don't feed into kind of the negativity. So yeah, shout out to all the Facebook groups, doing their thing. So
absolutely. Everyone's joking around saying it's Brittany's birthday.
Happy birthday. Oh, is it really or no?
No.
Oh wow.
No, it's October. I thought that was funny. I was like, but yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's I mean, if I were to say out of a percentage, I'd say 96% of the time I've had an amazing experience. 5% of the time, 3% of the time, I'm trying to do math correctly, and that sounds like an idiot. 3% of the time, it was an okay experience with a little tribulation, but there is that 1% or 2% that can really, really mess you up to where you're like, I don't know, and don't let it ruin your experience for art overall. You know what I mean? Because there's some artists where I will recommend you in a second to them because I know you're going to get your piece quick. I know you're going to be happy with it. I know the pricing's great. All around, like, what's the best advertisement? Word of mouth, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you do the work for me and then I turn around and I say, hey, I highly recommend you getting a piece from this guy or this gal, you know what I mean? Like it means something, especially if you could say, okay, well, I trust, this person's the way they critique their collection. I trust the way they put in a commission or, it happens, you know what I mean? So just ask around if you're
Yeah.
unfamiliar with an artist. Plus nowadays, I mean, we're seeing it. Just the other day, I saw it. Somebody was asking about somebody's signature on a card, and I didn't even notice. I was looking at the signature. I'm like, I don't know what's card. Somebody in the group chat's like, oh, those are one of those fake sketch cards. And then I looked at the
Oh,
pictures
wow.
closer, and I was like, oh, it is one of those Chinese ones. I was like, I wouldn't even notice it. I was just trying to
Yeah.
figure out who the signature was. So I would have got burned if let's say that was a man thing and I wanted it. It's a recreation. It's worthless. It's not even a
Yeah.
real artist technically, and it's somebody tracing over a printed image or something weird they were doing over there. So, and this is information I wouldn't know. I don't have an
Yeah.
in, you know what I mean? But some of these people just know because maybe they had a bad experience or someone they know had an experience. So it's a wealth of information when it comes to it, because you do have to play cautious. You do have to make sure you're doing it right. And it can go good, it can go bad, but I've never really had a time where I was like, I'm never going to get a commission again. I've had a time where I'm never going to deal with this artist again, but you live and you learn. And,
Yeah.
it's a good conversation starter, right? I mean, if you're talking to somebody and you're like, hey, have you, I love these sketches you got, what, are there any artists you recommend? Are there any artists that you don't recommend?
Yeah, a good person for that is Matt Fuller. Matt Fuller was one of the first people I
100%.
went to when I started getting commissioning APs and stuff like that. So
Yes.
yeah,
He is a pillar of our community with the sketch world. I've learned a lot from Matt. He's got incredible videos, like backlog you can go and watch, and he's
Yeah.
just got so much knowledge when it comes to it. I mean, he could pull up that, see an artist signature and let you know exactly who it is. He'll give you the background of the artist, their technique, their style, the sets they're in. So like,
I went straight to him.
well,
I didn't really watch his videos because I wasn't aware of them, but he's accessible. Just go to him and ask him a question. Hey Matt, should I commission this person? What's your experience been like? He's kind of ingrained in that or entrenched in that side of the hobby. So
yeah,
yeah,
and
and he was a good resource for me early on when I started doing sketch cards. He linked me up with Kokonakis.
I've heard the name. Yeah.
So he unbelievable sketch cards. He does like this framework and he'll do like these panels in the frame and stuff like that. Incredible stuff. A couple of his cards have sold for quite a bit of money, and he's been around for a really long time doing stuff for Rittenhouse and stuff like that. And so Matt Fuller was the one who linked me up with him, and he was one of the first sketch card artists that would give me tangible criticism and critiques. And it was a time zone difference. He's an international artist. I would send him pictures of things that I was working on, and he would give me practical, things I should work on, people I should look at, people's work I should look at so I can practice. He was a big influence on me early on when I first started doing sketch cards.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think he's done it for a lot of us, right? I mean, once I found that like art was on a card, like somebody created art on a card and it's not some printed, numbered card.
Yeah.
That's when I discovered Fuller, and I was like, oh wow. And then just tried to absorb whatever I could from whatever he was talking about. And there's a lot of other great people in the hobby. I mean, Fausto is great with knowledge about some sketch cards. Louis Alonso, Spidey Hits. they've got some awesome knowledge about some sketch cards that just history, you know, like really, like, you know what I mean, like not just like, oh, this is a good artist, like history to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're willing to share it. Kudos to them, because they're willing to you know, this is information that people, when I came into the hobby, they didn't want to share this stuff, and they did play it close to the chest, but those guys are willing to share with everyone, and so kudos to them for all the information they've, you know, made available to people, and they've made it accessible for people. So
Yeah,
shout out to them. And Lewis is one of the first people that I befriended in the hobby. I did the first Bianchi dinner commission way back when for MegaCon, and I got to meet Lewis, and I got to meet Brian Slick P during that dinner commission. That's where I met Matt DiTullio for the first time in person. He's a good friend of mine too, or I consider a good friend of mine. And just one of my favorite experiences ever in the hobby was that dinner. So I think Justin had it up on his channel. I think it's still on his channel too. So you know, anyone.
I think I've seen it. That's when you guys opened the box with Simone, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was dope.
Which was super cool. And it was crazy to hear Simone's feedback, because I don't think he was a fan of whatever sketch card was pulled out of his box. And his sentiments was like, if I would have known that, like, you know, there was a sketch card in every box, I would have did every sketch card in the set. And I was just like, I don't know if you would have wanted to do that. It's a lot of sketch cards.
That's a lot of work.
There's a lot of work to do. But great moment and memory for me, and again to meet those guys, and really appreciate them.
Yeah, that's dope. That was actually my first introduction to you, was that seeing you on that video. I was like, oh, Jay,
Nice.
And then, you know, met you through the community and everything. So that was my first glimpse at what was going on there. It was pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool. What advice would you give artists who are trying to get into the sketch cards?
Just be consistent. Make sure that you're working on it every day. Try to surround yourself with people that are going to be honest with you. Is important more than anything. Like I said early on, Kokonakis was one of those people that were, and he wasn't like he wasn't mean about it or anything like that. But he also he was very honest with me in terms of the things that I needed to work on. And those are the things that I attacked. And so, you know, I would say learn to be uncomfortable, work on the things that don't, if there's an area in your game that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's what you should be working on. You know, early on, I struggled with hair on that small of a canvas. I struggled with women's faces and all that stuff. And so, when I was in between sets, that all I did was female sketch cards, because I remember there was a point in time, all I did for 6 months was female sketch cards, because it was an area that I needed to improve on. And so I would say, you know, that's what I would say. Just surround people that are going to be honest with you. And I have a good group of friends that I talk to on a regular. Melfi Collectibles, Nathan, True Blue Collectibles, Shane, Breakers Row, and you guys know Doom. And so, you know, those guys are honest with me. If something's shitty, they'll let me know, right? Or they'll be like, hey, man, you should work a little bit on this, work a little bit on, work a little bit on that. And those guys are coming from a place of, they work in the creative space professionally too. So it's not like they're just, saying things to say things. They're pretty specific and precise on their critique. And so, have thick skin. If someone is willing to look at your work and provide you feedback, honest feedback, it's for your betterment, right?
Yeah.
They could have just ignored you, right? And so, shout out to guys like Dre, who I'm able to talk to and touch base with. Ash was someone that I used to talk to really early on when I first started getting, my work from Upperdeck. He's someone that gave me some really good advice, even from a business perspective, that is invaluable. Tony Perna, another one, who has given me opportunities too, and so don't alienate yourself in the beginning. I think a lot of us are introverts by nature. If you collect Marvel cards, most likely it's almost a certainty you're an introvert to a certain extent.
To a
And
certain
so,
extent, yep. So I can see it
yeah,
across the board. Yeah.
and shout out to Nathan and Jake Retroverse, who included me in MentalCon a couple years ago, and they helped me kind of navigate. We have like a whole artist chat that's been going on for like 3 years now on Instagram, and some of the best artists, sketch card artists in the world, right, are in that chat, and so they're able to feed off each other, see what each other are working on, just everything. I see Pullen saying any anti shout outs. No anti shout outs, but shout out to the NSDC podcast. Sergio's a good friend of mine. Elusive Collectibles, those are my guys. I want to make sure that I give them the shout out. And shout out to Dre. Like I said, Dre created Sketch Card Wars, which is a platform not just for professional artists, but for up and coming artists to, just test their skills and just have a good time and really network. And I mean, the time that I spent on that platform was just invaluable. Like I can't thank them enough for that. So
That's so awesome, man. Yeah.
yeah,
Love Sketch Card Wars. Can't wait to see it come back.
yeah,
A lot of fun. Loved watching that. Yeah, and that's where you shined. You really started pushing boundaries in that, and you could see it when you go back and you watch those episodes. And a great teacher is going to tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear.
exactly.
And that also translates to your friends. If you're a true friend and somebody's doing something that they're actually putting their heart and soul into it, and they're asking you for true advice, don't sugarcoat it. Don't tell them what they want to hear. Tell them what they need to hear.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick about it, but
Yeah,
be,
I mean,
be very truthful and honest.
approach is key.
Yeah.
Approach is key, and if you care about someone, you're gonna consider the type of approach that you have with someone, and so it's not always about just being blunt or honest or anything like that. But
Yeah.
if you want what's best for the person, then you're gonna take that into consideration and not allow any type of distraction to deter them from whatever truth you might want to share with them.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So who's your favorite character to draw, bro?
I've been drawing Batman my entire life. Early on, I would have said Batman. I think my favorite artist to draw now is probably Jean Grey.
I would have thrown a dart at Psylocke, but okay.
Psylocke was just, remember, those were all requests.
I know.
Don't get me wrong, I love Psylocke, but
Jean Grey, thought they would have all been Wolverine.
I love Wolverine too. Jean Grey is just, when I start a piece, I'm like, who do I want to draw? She's the first person that always comes, and it's any version, the X-Men 97 version,
okay.
the Phoenix version, which I do have I'll show what I've been working on now.
Oh, we get a little sneak peek here. All right.
But, there's just watercolors right now, and so I'll go back in and put some effects on it, and it's
that's beautiful, man.
Yeah, this one's coming out pretty good. I have here's an Electra. Electra's another one that I do enjoy drawing. I don't know if I'm gonna finish this one because I don't know how I feel about this one yet.
I like that. I like the sigh coming out of the picture. That's cool.
Let me see if I can. This one I just finished recently. I think I showed you this one.
Yes, you did. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
you're pushing boundaries, brother.
Yeah, I've been working on these larger pieces. Again, as you can tell, they're all female pieces.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm working on it, and so I do have plans for these pieces. I don't know if now is a good time to say it, but I will be at OAX. I did book my hotel, and so
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to go and just meet everybody in person. And I'll have some pieces with me for sale. I have a binder of sketch cards. Obviously, like nothing crazy expensive, just affordable stuff. People are interested in it.
Oh, wow. You guys heard that. Don't miss out if you see Tim walking around OAX, bro. Ask to see that binder.
Yeah.
Look at his works. Look at it. Are you going to bring your binder, like your PC?
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
ooh.
I have I didn't know if I was going to OAX, but Segovia put out that he was doing commissions. I saw you got one. I got one as well. I got a Batman pencil commission. So I got to go pick that up.
That was your only reason. I got to go there now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I didn't go, I was going to ask you if you could pick it up for me.
Of course I would have.
Yeah, but then I was like,
I was trying to win that weekend OAX ticket for you.
Well, Kaza reached out to me, which shout out to Kaza and Bill. You introduced me to Kaza in New York Comic Con. We had a great conversation. That's how I was able, he saw I had some work with me at New York Comic Con that I've since sold, but I had like a Batman and a Joker sketch that was like fully painted. I had a Wonder Woman and then a couple other cards, and I was able to show him my stuff in person, and he loved it. He was a big fan, and he got me to do the mystery sketches, which was a great experience, and I'm looking forward to doing some more work with that whole team at Comic Art Fans. So.
Beautiful, bro.
Yeah,
I'm so happy that worked out and led to something, and we get to chill at OAX, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun for sure.
Yeah, dude. Sure. Absolutely. Ah, man, that made me so happy because I was wondering. I was like, because I asked you the other day. I was like, hey, you gonna go? You gonna go? I don't know. And I'm like, oh man, I hope.
I was just waiting for some stuff to come through. Make sure I got to make sure everything's good with home base before I could, commit.
Totally understood. Totally understood. Family, it's gotta add all these other things into it, But
yeah, hopefully I plan it out better in upcoming years. I can just like book it and not think about it, just wait for the day to come. So I'm excited. I'm excited to meet everybody in person for sure.
Hell yeah. CAX Penthouse will be a lot of fun. Make sure if you see Tim, say hi. Ask him to look at his awesome PC collection.
Yeah.
Who's so out of the characters you've done, who's been like a character you've dreaded to do so far?
Dreaded.
Or found challenging.
Psylocke in space. No.
You did good with that.
Who's been the biggest challenge? I said this earlier. I did achievement cards. They were fun, but super challenging. And it's really because I was in my head the entire time I was making those achievements. So I did 6 card achievements. I did 4 card achievements. I did I think I did a 3 card achievement, and I did double panel achievements for upcoming set. And that was probably the most challenging thing, just thinking about composition.
Okay.
And you want the cards, thinking of ways to make the cards stand alone when they're apart from one another, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously wanting it to be a standout when everything is all together. So again, and I can't help but think about these things like a collector. So I'm like, oh man, I got to make sure that I do this and I do that, and maybe I can incorporate this, and this will give some added incentive or something like that. So super challenging. Took a very long time.
I bet.
Very long time to create them, but I think ultimately the final approved versions of what I have, I think people are gonna dig it. I really do.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure everyone's gonna dig it. Yeah.
And hopefully people can see I put a lot of time and effort, and I hope it comes through when people are able to see it.
Oh, I'm sure, man. I mean, when I look at your pieces, I see what you're putting into them. So if you put that much thought and process into a puzzle, that's cool. What do you find harder, the 3 or the 2?
Panels?
Yeah. Because I would think, like, if I were to just think off the top of my cuff, I'd be like, oh, 3's probably harder. But when I really think about it, I'm like, oh, double might be harder because it's bigger. You got to figure out how to make it work because sometimes it's got the fold or whatever in the middle.
The double is, and so like when I did the achievements, they didn't come that way. They came separate cards.
Oh, so you're putting them together. Okay,
I had to put them. I had to put them together, tape them down, create the art, and then untape them and make sure I don't damage the card throughout the entire process.
Ooh.
And so, it might be a little bit of a mess, but in the back of the cards, but I think they came out really good, and I really do hope that people like them.
I'm sure, and yeah, you could beat up the back of a card, bro. I'm okay with that. I've seen people say
the 2 panels harder though. Two panels harder. The more real estate you have, the more flexibility you have.
Oh, okay. I didn't look at it like that.
But when you get to like the 6 card panel sketches, there's a certain level of expectation just given the history of those achievements. And Upperdeck has done an amazing job just getting the right artists to do the right type of artwork on those cards. There's a weight behind doing a 6 card panel because you've seen what some of the very best have been able to do with 6 cards. So like there was a weight to it, and I was like, I need to do something good, and I need to do something that is of that same ilk, that what artists before me have done and are doing now.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So is there like a dream set you want to work on? What would that be, like DC masterpieces?
I think I can say this now because Upperdeck doesn't have the Marvel license, but the dream set would have been Marvel masterpieces.
Okay.
Would have been the dream because it's the one that kind of got me started in the hobby as a kid. Was the one that got me back into the hobby as an adult. And for me, it would have probably been a full circle moment to have been on the next masterpieces, which I was going to be on the next masterpieces. And unfortunately, they no longer have the license. So
yeah, sad. That would have been dope, dude. Oh, you got DC masterpieces? You got your DC pieces in there?
Coming out. I don't know what the plan is for that, though.
Oh, I don't even know if that'll be 26, maybe the 27. I have no idea what the thought process. I don't know if they got an artist. I can't wait to hear what artist gets revealed for that.
Yeah, I will say, I think all of these sets, and this is just a feeling, this is not fact for me, but like I think all of the sets that were announced in that initial press release were being worked on simultaneously. And so I'm on a couple of them, and unfortunately I'm not on all of them. So, but I think they looked at their roster of sketch card artists and they just try to evenly distribute it across, the sets that were announced. So, unfortunately I'm not on all of them, but I enjoy working with Upperdeck. I think there should be an upcoming project soon that I'm going to be on. So, and hopefully some checklists start to come out, and then I can finally reveal that I'm on certain sets and stuff. So
yeah, that's fine. I'm looking forward to that too. Yeah. Got to hunt for those sketches. At least look for them. I don't buy into the sketch slots for breaks. I've been burned pretty badly.
Yeah, the character breaks are rough. The only time I really buy is to support. I got a lot of friends that are breakers now.
Yeah, I've been down that road too. I'm like, I'll hang out, support.
Yeah.
And but then I got to pay for something.
For
Why
sure.
did I buy into that break?
Yeah.
Should have just got a commission. No. So what's next for you, bro? Anything big coming up? I know you probably can't speak on anything, but
I got a couple of sets that are coming up. I am working on some like internal projects. I'm excited to go to OAX. I'm excited to bring, some pieces that I've worked on for OAX. We got MentalCon coming up in June, which is, that event is just on a personal level, something near and dear to my heart. I love helping Nathan and Jake with that event, and Doom and I are going to be doing the overnight. They're going to bring back the 48-hour stream.
Okay, yeah.
And so myself and Doom Card are going to do the night shift, the graveyard shift, if you will, for MentalCon, which we're super excited about. And so it should be fun. It should be a ton of fun. So I'll start planning with Doom on that. Doom right now, he's doing breaks and whatnot.
Yeah,
so
with Breakers Row, right?
The Breakers Row. So they're crushing it over there, man. Shout out to them and everything they got going on. Always supportive. I think Shane's going to OAX too. He hasn't said it, but he is going to OAX. And so I'll be rolling up with Shane, and it'd be cool to hang out with him in person.
That would be cool. Yeah, it'll be cool. Very cool to meet him. Yeah,
for sure. But I'm looking forward to MentalCon. I've been looking at the work. People have been sharing their MentalCon work. I got to get on that ASAP. There's another set that I'm working on. I got to get working on those cards. Get those cards out. But yeah, the MentalCon stuff is looking great. I know Donnie's involved with MentalCon too, so shout out to him. He's been showing me some of the stuff that he's working on. But the stuff is great, and I think there's like a ton of artists this year too.
That's exciting.
So I don't know if I'm gonna do like a ton of pieces. And I was telling Nathan, I was like, Nathan, you guys got so much pieces, like. I know they're gonna have their hands full, but I'll talk to Nathan and then figure out how many to do, what format to do them in, because they gave us the 5x7s, they gave us the 3 panels, the 2 panels, 4 panels, single sketch cards. So I'll lean on his on his judgment there on what do you think would be best, and so I should have some cards to show for that as well.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I love MentalCon. If you guys aren't aware about it, make sure to go check that out. It's great supporting. Always love the artists that are doing the work. It's for a great cause every year. It's a beautiful thing. So make sure to go check that out and support it. The artists are putting in incredible works every year, and all the proceeds are for donations. So support it.
Yeah. Shout out to Raj. Raj got the Wolverine. I don't know what this coffee thing is going on.
No, I don't know either. We did have a question. What was the first published sketch card that you did? Was it that Bane? Or was that just the first one that got revealed?
That was the first one that got pulled.
Okay.
The first one I did is on my Instagram, and it's Batman with like bats in the background. It's a red background.
Oh, okay.
That's the first card I did for the set. It was also the first card that got approved for Batman Metal.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go, Gabe. Good question. Very cool. So, where's the best place for people to follow you and support your work?
Yeah, I have 2 Instagrams. I have my art page, which is art_Tim Cologne on IG. And then I have my collector page, which has a bigger following. It's the one I used to use, Off-White Tim.
Off-White Tim. Very cool. Very cool. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining tonight. Tim, thank you for hanging out with us and the incredible work that you keep doing. I'm going to be watching Tim's work closely. I think you all should. A lot of stuff's coming out of it. Like we were talking about earlier, his work's ever evolving. And every time I look at a new piece that he pushes out, I'm just like, wow, I didn't think you could improve in that corner or that part or that aspect, and you just keep pushing it. So bravo to you, and everyone, just make sure you keep supporting everybody. It's awesome. Tim, like I said in the Discord, if you guys aren't in the Discord, there's a Discord for Sketch Live. Any of the artists who have previously taken part of it are more than welcome to basically have a golden ticket and say, I'd like to be in March, I'd like to be in April, and you've got the spot. So you just let me know when you want to be in, and you're in again. You're always more than welcome to be here. So love your work.
I appreciate you, man. Again, likewise, I love what you're doing with the channel. I love everything that you got going on, and I want to be supportive of that as much as I can. So whenever you need me, just let me know.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate that greatly. I do. Next week, the guest will be Brandon Underwood. We're going to be talking about animation cell art and original art and published pieces. So that'll be a lot of fun. Make sure to check that out. And everyone, have a great night. Keep collecting, keep creating, and as always, ramble on.
Later, guys.
Bye.